Attack, attack, attack is what we lack. Welcome to this Sunday evening ChinnyVision. Yes, I'm going to be talking Amstrad Computer magazines again, so tune out now if that's not your thing. But this is ChinnyVision, and I talk about what I know, because I want to talk about one of the most disastrous magazine relaunches of all time, or computer magazines anyway, or indeed you may regard it as a completely new magazine. But first of all, let's introduce Amstrad Computer User. We've talked about it on the channel before. The official Amstrad CPC magazine, launched by Amstrad themselves in 1984, and initially run from their headquarters, and then it changed hands between lots of different owners, although it did have the first editor for, the same editor, sorry, for the first 50 issues, Simon Rockman, who did a superb job, and I think he writes about mobile phones these days. But after the issue 50, 1988, that's some point in 1988 that was, the magazine got passed around between various owners and ended up being owned by Robert Maxwell. And of course, if we look at the date here, the May 1992 edition, it's about the time he fell off his boat. So that may be a coincidental thing to all these changes as well. But we've got, I say, this edition here. We'll have a quick look at it just to see what the magazine is like. And we will just take it up to full screen. This isn't a particularly polished episode of ChinnyVision. I apologise for that. But you can see here, kind of general... It's a general computer magazine. It's slightly old-fashioned by perhaps other magazine standards, but it has listings, news, competitions, game reviews, and you've got an article here that says, say hello, wave goodbye. Next month, you won't see Amstrad Computer User on your newsagent shelves, but you will see CPC Attack. The Amstrad CPC scene is as big as ever. Stroke chin slowly. And it's becoming increasingly specialised with keen informed readers. CPC Attack will cater for these readers' requirements as well as supporting the huge games playing scene. It's 1992. CPC Attack will be very different magazines from ACU. For a start, there'll be a new, clearer design, lots more pictures, and the editorial will be geared up to cater for all CPC enthusiasts. The popularity of the CPC has convinced us that Amstrad owners need a magazine that is devoted to the CPC as they are. Watch out for CPC Attack from May the 7th. Okay. But you will see here, it's a very kind of general computer magazine. Got listings here, for example, and horrible layout issues. I mean, look at the difference in fonts between these. Just horrible. Yeah, I mean, Amstrad Computer User before issue 50 used to have perfectly readable listings, and look at this mess. Someone's going to type this in. That's an output from a dot matrix printer photographed by looks of it, and then we've got a different font up there and a different printer down on the bottom left-hand side. Absolutely horrible. And really, it's exactly map of a dizzy game there, and I've gone past it, but here's the games section. And it's exactly what you'd expect. No digital screenshots like Amstrad Action or the other future magazines, all done the old-fashioned way, photographed, and then published in the magazines. They all look kind of murky. And yeah, I mean, it's Amstrad Computer User, but what I want to do is get down, if I can. Oh, Apple, bless you for hiding the scroll bar and make it really... Why would they do this? Why? Now I've got to... Yeah, there I can get it. Thanks, Apple. Thanks so much for making the scroll bar impossible to see. I wanted to go down to the end because we've got down here the preview of the new magazine. Next month, CPC Attack, Amstrad Computer Action at the Edge. Probably best not to use the words Amstrad Action in the same headline there. Never mind. Attack challenges all aspects of home computing on the CPC with greater relevance, more reader interaction, clearer design, stronger reviews, and better advice than any other CPC magazine. Well, there's only one other CPC magazine in the UK at this stage, but hey-ho. Attack will be the #1 CPC magazine for games layers. Okay, they've covered over the P, and will feature technical info that will make your CPC feel like a 16-bit computer. Hot, hot, hot. Hot on tips, hot on advice, and hot on its own. Take it anywhere where we can, because it's a magazine. And we've got this Tank Girl rip-off here, which I believe is being licensed from some other magazine in the stable. I don't know. There was I can't remember. It's a character from somewhere else they've put in. They're going to use really heavily. And then we've got not the back page, because the back page is an advert from Amstrad, but we've got a CPC Attack, Amstrad Computer Action at the edge of something or other. And yeah, I mean, it's a mocked up front cover of some game that, yeah. Your free gift is a pair of 3D glasses and a 3D poster. Wow. Yeah, I mean, Amstrad Action for what, £2.50 are giving away, £2.45, something like that, are giving away a whole tape every month from now on. Well, not now on, but they already have been for a while. So you usually get a tape and with a game and an application on it, or 2 games, or something like that. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, we can look at what Amstrad Action is doing at this time very briefly. Here's the July issue, so we're a little bit forward, but hey-ho. That's the kind of cover. You've got a mix of serious and games, because that's what the CPC market wants. ABC figure of 37,120. Amstrad Computer User doesn't have an ABC figure, or it does, but it dates from it's only half of the year in ABC, which was 1988. And it was getting in the mid-60,000s then. But it was the official Amstrad magazine and was given away with user club memberships. So, you know, it always did outsell Amstrad Action. Well, until we don't know when it kind of dropped off, because it goes off, the quality goes off a cliff after issue 50. But this month you've got a demo of Lemmings, a complete version of Dragon Talk, and a Power Page DTP package on the cassette. So yeah, so 4 levels of Lemmings, a Houston game that isn't that good. And, yeah, it's really, you're getting quite a lot for your extra 50 or so p over. What does it cost? £2.50. So CPC Attack's going to be £1.85. Amstrad Action's going to be £2.50. And let's just check the page count before the scroll bar disappears. Page count on Amstrad Action is 58, 59, 60 pages. So £2.50, 60 pages and a cassette with 2 decent things on it. So here we go. Issue 1 of CPC Attack. And the rumour is, well, it's said that what happened was the licensing from Amstrad for Amstrad Computer User ran out and the publisher didn't want to renew it. So they decided to change the name to CPC Attack and relaunch it. But there's more to it than that, I think. But we'll come to that. So we've got the top 50 games of all time, a worrying headline about console crazy, buying a console, then get this great guide. Now, Amstrad Computer User was always the more techie of the Amstrad magazines. It always had more details about things like accessing kind of hidden bits of the firmware and hacking and the demo scene than Amstrad Action ever did. So why are we suddenly talking about consoles rather than programming and stuff? But you can win a printer, so that's good, and you get your free 3D glasses, woo. And this is a bit of a mess, but this is the double-page spread with the contents. Welcome to CPC Attack. Whether you're new to the CPC scene or an old hand, you'll get the best out of your machine with Attack, the CPC's biggest and best magazine. It's 68 pages big. 68 pages big? Okay, so you've got 8 pages more than Amstrad Action. We've got the major backing of the industry. We're already their official top CPC magazine, and we don't mind shouting about it. Well, official what? Because you don't have the Amstrad licensing anymore. So that just reads like nonsense. You should also find, because we have more advertisers in the competition, you'll not be short of somewhere to buy your product, and with lots more choice. So you're selling yourself on adverts. In this launch issue, we've taken a lot of time to compile our top 50 chart from which new games will be judged. The 3D poster and super competitions kick off the host of freebies you'll come to expect over the coming months. Clue, it will be posters, because they ain't going to do a tape. They've got the exclusive on Lemmings. We're already the only CPC magazine worth reading, and we've been given this exclusive review. If you think this issue was bogus, wait until next month. Sorry. If you think this issue was bogus, wait until next month. We've got oodles extra developments in store for you. Quite excellent. I think as Timothy Claypole might say, methinks they don't understand what bogus means. Oh dear. This is written by some 40-year-old bloke who has watched an episode of Turtles and has taken all the phrases without understanding what they mean. Your editor is Pat Kelly, who's new. It was a new, I can't remember the name. Something or other Knight was the editor of Amstrad Computer User, for quite a while, until this point where CPC Attack gets taken over by Pat Kelly. HHL Leisure Publishing, I think, is the company doing it. Yeah, HHL Publishing, who publish far too many magazines to list here. Okay. ABC figure. When you're this good, who needs them? Well, no, you just haven't paid for an ABC, have you, if we're honest? And, meet Amy Stradivarius, daughter of the fabulously wealthy Vincent Stradivarius. She ran away from home age 11 and now exists on a diet of pot noodles and video games. It doesn't exactly look like your average Amstrad games player, does she? No. So, right, you've got win a printer and 10 copies of Lemmings and identify a screenshot you can't really see. I can't see that at all. Perhaps you can. Yeah. And so much for this new improved layout, because look at this mess. It's horrible. This is the news page. And there's news here. Stuff from Elspeth about the CPC's sales figures, which we've covered before here on ChinnyVision. I've covered that on ChinnyVision 2, I think. So go and look on there, because I go through all the figures that you're going to see there. And the advertising for technical editor earn over £1,000 per month. And since this advert's in issue 1, I'm going to assume they're not going to manage to get a technical editor before issue 3, given that someone's going to have to respond to this, be interviewed, and all the rest of it. Possibly issue 4. So, yeah. Not great. Letters page, which is all going to be hangovers from Amstrad Computer User, unless they've made them all up, but they mention ACU, so it's all the old Amstrad Computer User letters. And now, page 13, we get Console Crazy. Goodbye, Bros. Hello, Mario Bros. Greetings, Sonic the Hedgehog. See you, Sonic Youth. As the 90s moved into gear, rock and roll has stood still while shoot and scroll has flourished. It seems a million teenagers' fingers would rather be zapping monsters and zooming into the next screen than tapping into the used traditional #1 selling entertainment. So, we've got a page about consoles as your lead feature in an Amstrad computer magazine where the readership is predominantly more technical than the one of Amstrad Action. That's not 1 page isn't bad. 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, 5 pages. Yeah. 5 pages of console coverage in your Amstrad computer magazine. Now, let me tell you what the theory behind this may have been. I've heard this from several sources, but may not be true. It's a piece of business and computing kind of genius, because the owners of the magazine thought, you know what, the CPC's getting on a bit now and the readership's waning, but we don't want to lose the readers we've got because we're selling quite a lot of adverts. So what we could do with this new CPC Attack magazine is give it some console coverage and then slowly increase that as the months go on and decrease the Amstrad coverage to a point where all our readers have transitioned to consoles and don't have Amstrads any longer, and therefore we've kept all of our readership and we transition them on to something else. And the magazine can carry on selling advertising. This is I don't know about what you think about this. It's a genius business move because, you know, your average Amstrad technical user indeed wants to ditch his Amstrad in favour of a Sega Mega Drive and play games all day. It's an absolute misunderstanding of the market, but this is the mark of the 6 issues of CPC Attack, a chronic misunderstanding of the market and the readership. They don't understand what they have, they don't understand their readership, and the entire venture is doomed. I mean, aside from anything, why would you be reading this rubbish when you could read, and I'm not a fan of meme machines, but you could be reading meme machines with a better layout, better coverage, and just looking and just generally being far more on the nose than this. Why isn't this a 5-page feature on great Amstrad arcade games you can play? It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I could perhaps understand a page on consoles. You know, when your magazine's game scene is waning, you put other content into the magazine. Your Sinclair tried it with Flip, and it didn't really work. They tried to put lifestyle stuff and other bits in the magazine, but some bits did work, like Killer Column from Outer Space, that carried on until Your Sinclair closed. And they had their superb Doctor Who special and the Batman special and so on to fill out the content, but this isn't how you do it. This just doesn't show. There's going to be some crossover with Amstrad owners, but not much. And to add, I mean, your advert after the 5 pages of console coverage is basically for Brunword, which is a Amstrad CPC word processor you can buy on ROM, costing £125, which has a lot of crossover with console coverage. I just can't. No. Oh, yes. And then we come to CPC Attack's Games Awards. So Amstrad Action have, you know, their awards. You have Crash Smashes, Zap Sizzlers. What are CPC Attack going to give their games? Well, if you get above 95%, you're going to get the Bogus Award. Yes, I suspect Lemmings has been awarded the CPC Attack Bogus Game Award. I mean, how? 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 How do you just... Did no one look at this and go... It's like a group of bank managers in their 60s have decided to produce a youth magazine. The CPC Attack Bogus Game Award for anything over 95%. Lucky for you, if your game only gets between 90 and 94%, you just get the Excellent Award. So that's something. Oh, and they've used the word, it's completely bogus again. Oh, why did no one in the production of this thing look at that and go, that's not what that means? And here's the review of Lemmings, which is curiously missing the E in Lemmings. And we've also got down here, I mean, Future were using entirely desktop published magazines by this stage, aren't they? It's 1992. And look here, in CPC Attack, we've clearly got a very bad cutout around here where something's been pasted over. Question how many levels are in the CPC version of Lemmings. As I recall, not the number that you say in your review. But I mean, look at the state of that layout around there. It's horrible. Looks like a fanzine. Dad says, no, they never take off. I mean, it's horrible. Just, it looks like it's trying to look modern, but done with the techniques of 10 years before. And I can't even begin to think why Dad is in. I mean, I would imagine Amstrad Computer User had an older readership than Amstrad Action because of the technical nature of it and the more technical adverts you see in it. And you just wonder, did these guys do any research? Well, no, they didn't, because they want to transition everyone over to the consoles. So they want to ditch the older readers and make it a youth magazine for consoles. But it's nuts. I mean, this layout here, got 2 reviews on the spread. Apparently that's Smash TV, but it's quite hard to see that. And a picture of a Deirdre Barlow alike down there. Mum says, destructive games like these shouldn't be allowed. They serve no purpose, blah, blah, blah. Oh. It's horrible. Everything about it's horrible. There's their top 50 games, which they handily sum up here. They're all fairly recent games. Swiv at 48, no. But it's not too far out. Lemmings goes up at 98% there. But then the actual games charts are laid out down the side in a complete mess. It's horrible. It's just horrible. And there's your 3D poster of Lemmings. Woo. Amy's PM and T CP. Oh. Pokes, maps and tips. I just, it's everything about this is so spectacularly misjudged. You can't, if, magazines like Amstrad Action and it's your Sinclair and Commodore format over at Future were so in touch with their readers, and this just feels like a strange vision of goodness knows what. I mean, you've still got adverts for printer reviews in the back. Public domain, all in the back. And they haven't got much colour as well. I'm sure Amstrad Action has far more colour by this stage. Classified advert for CPC 6218. Oh, know your blimmin' machines. 6218 CTM 444. 150 worth of games, altogether worth 650. Oh, that's eBay. eBay pricing. There you go. That's a 1992 example of eBay pricing. He wants £450 for his CPC 6218, with £150 worth of games and blank discs, inverted commas. We all know the blank discs, right? Oh. £300 for a CPC 608 Plus in box never used. Why did he buy it then? Oh, 25 quid for a CPC 464 monitor not working. In that day and age, easy to fix, one would imagine. Oh, technical pages. Yeah, it's all horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Let's see if issue 2 gets any better. And that's a perfectly horrible cover, isn't it? I mean, hang on. I mean, what is that Mario being squirted in the face? But you can't tell. What's the CPC topic this month, lads? What's the big CPC issue for Amstrad users? What's the game? It's Amy squirting Mario in the face. Oh no, we've got something about Rainbow Islands up here. Let's go and see what... Oh. There we go. With complete control. 5-page game to Rainbow Islands, the famously colourful game, which is in a black and white, poorly exposed picture on the front page. I just... I just look at this and go, this is nuts. Super Nintendo reviewed inside. Oh, sorry, Super NES reviewed inside with Super Mario World, Super Art. It's an Amstrad magazine. It's just... I'm hitting my head. This is so misjudged. Free poster inside. Only £1.85. £1.85 for 68 pages of incompetence and idiocy. Let's see what Pat's got to say this month. The phrase that... Oh, I just saw something. I'll come to it in a minute. Judging by the response, we've already a big success. Oh, okay. Judging by the response, we're already a big success. Hopefully we're giving the right vibes. No, you're not, Pat. No, you're not. There's a lot in Attack, but some have complained about the coverage of consoles in console crazes. Crazy. At 68 pages, we already outpage Amstrad Action by a whopping 8 pages. 8 pages, lads. All of which are probably adverts. What about editorial? So we feel that 3 or 4 pages on consoles isn't that bad. You're putting your flagship feature, you're putting it at the front of the magazine and you're calling it not that bad. We believe many of you own consoles. Do you? Do you really, Pat? Do you? It's Amstrad Computer User. They're more likely to own 24-pin printers and a modem. Not only that, you're getting better console coverage than you would... What? What? This is just so... I can't read this because my mind is spinning at this idiocy. Not only that, but you're getting better console coverage here than you would there. Where? CMVG? No. Mean Machines? No. Any other multi-format magazine? No. Do you mean Amstrad Action? Well, yes. But Amstrad Action is an Amstrad magazine, not a console magazine. Do you see? Do you see, Pat? Do you see? Ugh. Well, all the other console magazines are trying to please their audience. What? If you're trying to decide what's best, then listen to our in-depth machine and market reports because we're trying to figure out what's really best too. On the CPC front, what about sending in more surveys? Also letters telling us what you think of anything, live hardware, consoles. It's your magazine, and if you're not interested, then sod off. Has the editor of the magazine just said, sod off if you're not interested in what's in the magazine? You just get the feeling why CPC Attack lasted 6 issues, don't you? Really? It's extraordinarily arrogant. Are they trying to take on... The only thing I can think here is one of 2 things. They really are this arrogant, or they're trying to be like... Had that NES magazine from Future launched yet with the 2 comedy characters running the magazine? They're in the editors trying to be a kind of comedy character and edgy. I don't know. Oh. So here's the people responsible. I mean, some of these contributors are people well known to the CPC scene. So that Vic Oliver, Amstrad Computer User stalwart, he's going to be doing technical articles. Richard Fairhurst, top Amstrad person, will shortly defect to Amstrad Action, writing for them. Wrote the route planner, I think, for the CPC, a technical marvel, but so slow as to be completely useless. But it works. But yeah, I mean, these people even publish any other computer magazines? Oh God. I. So again, your adverts here are for typical things for console owners: 3.5-inch disc drives and a multi-face, which all Sega Mega Drive owners want to own. Competition time: you can win a Super Nintendo with 4 games. Great competition. Okay, even for an Amstrad magazine, a great competition. But I just, again, it just doesn't. It doesn't ring right for an Amstrad magazine, does it? Really, it's a great prize. Don't get me wrong. And here's our news pages. So how much Amstrad news do we have? We've got the ECTS show coming up soon. Oh no, it's happened with the awards, which feature no Amstrad games at all. No, SimCity. Oh, SimCity, yeah. Okay, that's not on CD. 3D construction kit. Okay, best packaging. But none of the rest are... Oh, Lemmings is Game of the Year. Okay, that's out. But really? I mean, the full awards show that PC and console games rule and the Amiga and other computers are dying breeds. This clarifies what is being seen and said. Console arcade games beat the supercomputer, the Amiga, hands down, whilst huge strategy games such as Wing Commander can't be implemented on the lesser machine. Again, CPC Attack on the cutting edge of things here, because, of course, Nick Pelling is working on Wing Commander for the Amiga right about now. Oh, just... They want to throw their hats. It's so obvious they want to throw their hats in with the consoles and be rid of these pesky home computers. But wait, what do we have on the right-hand side here? We have not one but two attacks on future publishing for reasons best known to CPC Attack. They decide to attack the ABC figures and call them unreliable, 6 months out of date. Oh, dear. I mean, pathetically administered and corrupt. There was, I mean, this is about the story that Amstrad Amiga Power and Amiga Action got into this dispute, didn't they? Because there was some kind of problem with the ABCs. But this is of no consequence to CPC Attack readers that two Amiga magazines have a spat. I mean... Oh, it's about having Amstrad Action, isn't it? However, future publishing makers of Amstrad Action nearly always use the ABC system. They seem to need them. Have you seen the amount of ads in Amstrad Action? Pretty poor despite their ABC. I say nearly always because apparently they claim for over a year it was the best-selling Amiga Power was the best-selling Amiga magazine. They got away with it because other magazines didn't have ABCs. Oh, this is like, oh, goodness me. I'm pulling up my face now. This is an Amstrad Computer magazine. Nobody cares. I've seen Pat Kelly, the editor, is overseeing this. Pat, nobody cares about this stuff. What's your beef? What's your problem? Tell us about new Amstrad stuff. I know it's 1992, but there's got to be more. And then we've got another article about Amstrad Action wrong again. If you read the said rag, you'll have noticed they ran a story about seeing off ACU. Huh? Just a quick note to say that ACU was an official Amstrad title which was leased on contract to the magazine's publishers, us. Actually, you're the magazine, not the publisher, but hey-ho. The contract expired, and because of Amstrad's discontinuation of support for the CPC, it was mutually decided it would not be renewed. Or, more likely, you guys didn't want to pay for the licence. Because, you know, Alan Sugar isn't going to turn down money, is he? He really? You turn up, Amstrad asks, say you want to continue the licence. Here, Alan, have some money. And it carries on, right? But, yeah. CPC Attack is a replacement magazine to fulfil the requirements of previous ACU readers and advertisers. Well, it's not really, is it? That's the thing. It's... Oh, goodness me. And here we are in the console section where we review the Super Nintendo. 5 pages again. No 4 pages. I just... They don't even give it a rating, though. I mean, just... I have no words. And suddenly we go into a page here that looks like a layout copy from Amstrad Action. Because this looks like an Amstrad Action page. That's weird, isn't it? This layout could be copied directly from a similar page in Amstrad Action that was doing a similar kind of thing. That's weird. That's weird, but not done as well. I mean, weird things like the bleed there, where you can tell it's not done with a computer and so on. Software City's advert is now inexplicably over 2 pages. Don't know why. And our big review is... I wanted to see if they were continuing the bogus game award, but they only gave it 93%. So Striker and the Cripsa Trojan has only got 93%. I mean, the new... Just... Okay, there's no full price games out this month, but... There's your free gift. Woo. You're going to put that on your bedroom wall, aren't you? I cannot. Over the next few months, we'll be giving you the solution to Rainbow Islands. Few months. Right, okay. PD column, stuff about the multi-face, demo machine code. Yeah, because this is exactly the kind of thing Amstrad Computer User used to do. Machine code stuff. And you got that mixed in with Super Nintendo coverage. Oh. Right, well, I'm not going to go through all these issues. There are 6 in total. Let's go to issue 5. That's a better cover. It looks much more like a conventional Amstrad Computer User cover with a CPC monitor looking prominent, a bit of hardware. Amy is still on the cover there, but with rad earrings. £1.85. Interesting to see if they're still running to the full 68 pages. And we've got no free gift this month. Is this our best issue yet? Probably not, Pat. Probably not. We think as the CPC games market is dwindling, you want to learn more about the applications, programming and hardware available for the CPC. Yes, but what you've been doing is giving us console coverage. So has that been dropped by now? When they bang on about surveys in issue 1 and issue 2, and that text on the left-hand side, well, I know at least one person who does design is watching this. And look at that on the left-hand side. I can't read that. Stradivarius to use Strad to friends with a Z. That's my name, spelt with a 9. Funds, game, child out and got a... Oh. Everything about this is just a disaster. Anything happening? Again, that layouts are looking... I mean, that colour's horrible. Isn't that Simon Forrester there? Who later writes for Amstrad Action. I think he wrote Boo Tracker, didn't he? I think I'm right. I think that's Simon Forrester of Amstrad Action and Commodore format fame. A lot more technical. Suddenly we're talking about CPM, which, as I recall, was promised for issue 1. And this is issue 5. It feels very different all of a sudden. Amy's still everywhere. And how much is it costing to have all these different drawings done of Amy? Because someone's got to be... There's so many of them. You're thinking someone's going to be pretty much employed full-time to do them. There she is again. There she is again. How long would each of these take? I'm not an artist. A day's work? Half a day? Couldn't this money be better spent in actually making the magazine better? Here's a survey. They want to learn about what they... Well, it's going to be too late now, isn't it? Just... there. I mean, that's quite nice. Adam's family map all printed out. Someone's taken a lot of time to photograph that and do it all out. But then again, that's the kind of thing Future were doing all the time. Amstrad Action would do it. Your Sinclair did a lot of this stuff. And to be fair, Amstrad Computer User did, but they used to do it hand-drawn quite often. That's a really nice map. I'll give them that. It's a really nice map. Fanzines, the listings look better than Amstrad Computer User did, but I mean, who's going to type that in? Data statements aren't comma separated. That's horrible. And Amstrad Action will put these kind of things on the tape as well. I think they've just kind of got public domain and then... Well, that one's public domain. That one's not public domain, but... Yeah, would you want to type that in? Probably not. Letters page. Cover disc and tape. Have coupons in the magazine to get the readers can buy this tape at a reduced price. So I think from his reply saying, I think this has gone further than it ought to have. We first said no way, then we said maybe, now we're sticking to our first story for now anyway. There's no way we're doing a cover tape, although program offers will continue. I they are very against cover tape, and I think it's because they haven't got the budget to do it. I'm back again, but not with a complaint this time. You made the changes to the mag is 10 times better than it was. At least you make an effort, as Amstrad Action seem to ignore letters they receive. I would suggest Amstrad Action just don't publish letters from people moaning on when the magazine is perfectly successful. As for AA, we have never said it was a knob magazine, and we won't now, although we did refer to it as being a rag, but only once. But although you did run that half a page feature in the news section on issue 2, having a go at ABC's Amiga Power and then having a go at Amstrad Action. So they seem to think we've attacked them with their Starfighter writing some naff words about us, sob, as if we care, matey. Well, I mean, Adam Peters is still going to be in a job in a couple of issues, isn't he? I think it was Adam. Yeah, it would have been Adam Peters. So I think it is who they are. I think they need to grow up. I mean, oh my goodness me! They've just admitted the reason they got Lemmings exclusive because it was incomplete. Oh, I did wonder how they got Lemmings in their May issue when Amstrad Action didn't get it till their July issue. About Lemmings, we did review this version, which was at the time incomplete but not unreviewable, or Psygnosis would never allow it. We did stick our neck out by reviewing a pre-release version that was published before the game reached the shops. Other magazines prefer only to review complete versions, and the game often appears in shops before it does in a magazine. This doesn't serve the public interest. Who's replying to these? Does it say? Doesn't say. But are you? Whoever's writing this letters page is arguing it is in the public interest to review incomplete computer games. Now, it's one thing. I mean, we know Amstrad Action, Your Sinclair, Amiga Power, and so on might review a game that's not in finished packaging or not have instructions or stuff. But generally, Outrun Europa aside, it was Outrun Europa. They reviewed finished games and said, we review finished games. And what they've done here is they're saying it's in the public interest to review a version of Lemmings that is not finished. And they've admitted here, they've said there's 80 levels, when in fact there were only 60 levels. Complaining that Amstrad Action didn't spot the bugs. And there is a bug in the game, which Lemmings, where the game codes don't work after a certain level. I don't know. Let's go on to the final issue before I lose the will to live. This is probably going on for far long enough. Final issue of CPC Attack, although they didn't know at the time. I don't think there's anything in here that refers to it being the final issue. A much more conventional Amstrad Computer User cover. CPC with a hand coming up the screen. And then Amy reduced down to the bottom corner there. Over 20 games reviewed. Yeah. Meet Amy Strad. Check out the games page for a spectacular in CPC Gaming. As Oda Games Review test this month. And promise more coming soon. So got a feature on a new publisher who are releasing various things. Okay, so that's nice. That's nice. Video digitizer coverage. Again. That's nice. SD microsystem stuff about demos. Still very black and white, this magazine. And then into the reviews, which are, again, very small. And where's the... Oh, they've still got scores, but the layout's so bad, you're kind of looking around to try and find them. This looks much more like old school Amstrad Computer User now, with these small reviews, but the layout's horrible. I mean, that down the bottom there, just nasty. That's horrible there on the left, the top 50 that they're still publishing every single month. Badlands gets 69%, which is it's a terrible, terrible, terrible game. More Amy. I'm not an artist again. Is there inconsistencies between who's drawing these pictures of Amy? Are some done by different artists? Because they look quite different in places. Again, but the money wasted on that. Public domain. Back issues. Did you miss any more of these issues? You can subscribe. Don't. For goodness sake, don't. Because you're getting a refund straight away. Oh, I want to see the letters page. What we got in letters page? More about cover tapes. Please keep your cover tape on the front of your magazine. So they must be getting so many letters about cover tapes and so few other letters they have to keep on replying to them. Sorry, Greg, no can do. We put a cover tape on, we'd lose money, even if we charge £2.50. Anyway, the state of play on the CPC scene, we'd soon find that we had nothing worthwhile to justify the extra 65p you'd have to pay. And you could just be right about your last remark about Pet Candy being excellent. So, state of play on the CPC scene, Amstrad Action are finding plenty of stuff to do. You're struggling, and at least you've dropped the console coverage. Which, yeah, there's been no console coverage this issue, have there? More stuff about cover tapes. Again, they can't be getting in many letters. It must have really... If you're having to publish cover tape letters, then what's going on? Yeah. Let's see what's in the next issue that will never ever come out. STS Software, they're big and they're bad. They're coming to the CPC near you, but who are they? Find out next month. It's like Smithy's Calf. Wasn't there a feature about their software in this issue? Anyway, Mind Your Language was supposed to be in this issue, but it's in next month. Is it possible STS Software is supposed to be next month, but ended up in this issue? ECTS Show Report. At the show, there were over 50 CPC games penciled in for release. Read all about it. It's the end of 1992. And wasn't the ECTS show reported on in issue 2? And you're going to report on the ECTS show in issue 6? Yeah. But it's 1992, and apparently there's going to be 50 CPC games penciled in for release in 1993. My chin is on fire from the stroking. An unbelievable 50 CPC games penciled in for release in 1993. What are you including all the budget re-releases? Because there's not many games coming out in 93. Ocean have already dropped out. Adam's Family has come out. That's their last game. I think US Gold, if they haven't published their last game, are going to. You've got Nigel Mansell from Gremlin. Is that already out? Or no, that comes out in 93, doesn't it? Yeah, there's going to be games announced that might have been coming out on the CPC but didn't. But 50 CPC games, no way. No way at the 1992 ECTS show were there 50 CPC games penciled in for release. Just no. Complete Control, again penciled in for this issue, but we couldn't make it. But next month, all is revealed. Why not? What's happened? Have they page count gone down? 57, 58, 59, 60 pages. They're down to 60 pages. They're down to 60 pages. That's why they've had to drop stuff. And I just want to check that STS Software thing up here, because I think they're training something next month. I think they're trading something next month that was in this month's issue, and they've just CPC Attack. Yeah, and that's it from CPC Attack, one of the most ill-judged and disastrous magazine launches or relaunches of all time. Completely misjudging who their readership was, what the competition was like. They would argue there wasn't enough room for two CPC magazines in the market. No, you completely messed it up and just didn't know what your You know, go back to ACU and just what your magazine readers wanted. ACU had gone downhill over the years a lot and was nowhere near as good as Amstrad Action, but it still had a following. Very old-fashioned magazine, but, you know, but CPC Attack was so spectacularly misjudged that Amstrad Action just hoovered up the readers, and that was that. And goodness knows what happened. There was nothing saying there would be no more CPC Attack. It just vanished from the shelves, and the only mention was on the news pages of Amstrad Action a couple of months later saying it had closed down. The only good thing about CPC Attack was that it indeed closed down. But thanks for watching. This has gone on for far long enough. But hey ho, that's me when I'm talking about old Amstrad magazines. Yes, and CPC Attack, well, yeah, terrible, wasn't it really?